Hello.
Hello, world. We have just arrived back from outer space. Welcome back to Season 4, Episode 2 of the podcast.
Yeah. We'll send autographs at the end.
We are actually we are invited to go and visit space like those other celebrities earlier this year. So, it's honestly not as cool as you'd expect it to be.
Yeah, Katy Perry was freaking out for no reason. Like, she was tweaking.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'd take that opportunity if it presented itself. But hey, anyways, welcome back to Season 4 of the Catchin podcast. This is Episode 2 in the season-long scheme. My name's Tyler.
My name is Gabriel.
Oh, you froze. I was like,
about
to have some technical difficulties already. Why don't we just go ahead and cue up that intro?
Ladies and gentlemen, the show's about to start.
And here's the intro because this is getting weird.
I love this thing. This thing is thick.
It's fluffy.
Honestly, bro, these things are so good. To let your actions of being a Christian speak louder than your words. So
We can't control that ourselves, and it's like, who can? God can.
Catching Up podcast. If you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means.
Cool.
All right. Well, welcome back, guys. We're excited to be here tonight. We got some good stuff lined up. And speaking of good stuff, we recently saw that Starbucks had released protein coffee.
Cold foam.
And cold. Okay, so the protein's in the cold foam. And, we wanted to give it a try, obviously. So as I was on my way, I saw that they had a banana foam matcha. It's like a banana cream foam matcha. And we basically agreed,
say that 5 times fast.
Banana cream matcha, banana cream matcha, banana cream matcha, banana cream matcha, banana cream matcha. Come on, bro, I'm an actor. Stop playing.
You also didn't say foam, just saying.
I did. You can't play back the tapes.
Yeah, whatever.
So anyways, we're going to be trying the matcha instead of the coffee because that sounded like a more interesting version. We're going to be trying out the new iced banana cream protein matcha from Starbucks.
Story really quick. There's a Starbucks within literally 300 feet of my apartment. And I go there at 9:45 because, we record the episode at 10 p.m. at my time at least. So they're about to close. I'm like, let me get there. They close at 9:30. So, and then I'm like, crap, I'm looking it up online. And then there's one that's close by that's open till 10. I didn't realize they changed their closing time to 9:30.
Wow, I didn't either.
Whack. That is whack. Anyways, that's my own beef with Starbucks. Screw you guys. Never mind. I'm going to take that back. Forget you guys. Anyway, so then I go to this one, unfortunately, 10 minutes before they close. Granted, the other one I was there 15, so it's not much better. But, and then I get there, and then I'm like, hey, can I, get the banana cold foam protein matcha? Yeah, sure. I pay for it. Hey, so, it's going to expire. If we open a new thing for the cold foam, the whole batch is going to expire before they can even use it tomorrow. Because I guess it doesn't have a long shelf life.
Okay.
Is there any way you can do a regular matcha or a strawberry matcha? And I was like, no, this is for a review channel. So I kind of have to get the banana cold foam one because that's what they're doing for this episode. And then she's like, let me see what I can do for you. And then they did it. They opened the batch up. I wasn't expecting them to, so I was expecting to not get it. And then but I don't know, I think they gave me a little too much because I got the bigger one regardless, but I think more cold foam than matcha.
Yeah, I was going to say mine, it's more settled in now because I got mine 20 minutes ago and I let it sit in the freezer in the fridge. So it's still obviously intact, but it looked a lot more foam heavy. It looked like yours, but now it's kind of blended in. Okay. So I don't know, maybe it's just with the protein, they give you a little bit more foam to mask the taste. I don't know. I mean, we're going to find out.
Or it's a dose.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad they let you get it. Hopefully, you guys should run up this video so that we can thank those employees for being so kind and helping them out.
I was going to say, so make sure to like this video and blow it up because Starbucks almost wasted a whole batch just for this review.
That's so crazy though. Usually for a cold foam, you usually just use heavy cream. So I
But I
wonder
think it's
what
the
they
banana.
use. Oh, maybe
I think
it's
it's
a
the
specific
banana ingredient.
Okay.
Because
Well,
every other ingredient was fine. They were like strawberry, like they said other flavors, but I think banana. I think it's like probably like they. I don't know. I'm assuming they use banana, like real banana, or some sort
It's
of
weird.
banana that just has a short shelf life. But yeah. Cheers.
So I would say let's just
Try
try
the
the
foam
foam,
first, yeah.
and then we'll go ahead and mix it up for you guys and give you the whole
Tyler's
thing.
acting like this is
foam
our first
first.
review.
So foam
Silly
first.
goose.
Hey, you're
Anyways.
acting like it's not their first time.
Bruh.
Wow.
I can understand why that would expire in like less than 12 hours though. That like tastes like real, like freshly made, like blended banana.
That foam tastes incredible. That's actually really solid.
I can see the whey protein or
Wow.
like the protein that they use in the back, but it's not
Yeah.
like. I think if someone didn't tell me it was protein, I don't think I'd think anything of it.
Yeah, me either. That's really good. Okay, now we're gonna mix it up and see how it tastes combined all together. Yes, I'm using a fork. Don't judge me.
I'm using a metal straw because I was in a rush and I don't think they gave me a straw.
Oh wow. Wow. Seriously though, that foam is. I mean, you can definitely. Yeah, you can tell there's a hint of protein, but it's very good. Okay. Anyways, let's cheers up. This is the fully mixed in review.
I'm gonna drink it through the straw because I can't. I'm gonna make a mess.
All right.
But cheers.
That's fine. Cheers. I had to like, I'm like having to chug it to try to get through the foam.
That's funny.
I mean, honestly, it's really good. And like, I'm not the biggest like matcha guy. I don't really drink matcha like that. I just thought this sounded better than the cold foam. I mean, the cold brew. So it's actually, I mean, it's very tasty. This is the most I've ever enjoyed a matcha.
Okay, that makes sense.
Do you know how much protein?
No, but I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna put it right here.
Well, I kind of want to look it up so I can see. So I'll look it up. Well, you get,
That's
yeah,
it.
you gotta
Okay,
give
so
me-
my thoughts. I do enjoy matcha and I do like the flavor of matcha. So I'm a little biased because this isn't good quality matcha and it doesn't really taste like matcha. And it could just be because I got such a big size. I don't know, but it's like almost like a really like it's like a thin milkshake with the hint of slightly earthy banana. And it's good. I like it. Is it my, I think, granted, I'm judging the cold foam, which is great. The matcha is not so great. So as a whole, I'd give it, I mean, if I'm going to put my number out there, I'd give it like a 7, bro. Like, this is pretty solid. Like, for the cold foam, I'd give it like honestly, like a 9 out of 10. The banana's great. The foam itself is great. The drink, I'd give a 7, but the cold foam's a solid 10.
That's fair. So
I mean,
it's,
9.
It's 15 grams of protein per grande foam. So for
So I
15
got, like,
grams
30?
of protein,
If this is 30, if it is 30, this is awesome.
dude, I don't know. I really like this. Like, this is something that I would definitely get again. I think it's very tasty. And again, I'm not a big matcha drinker, so like I would drink matcha with this. I'm gonna go ahead and give this one more. Honestly, bro, I'm gonna give this like a 9.5 out of 10. This is good. This is
It
really good.
It
Like-
is really good. The 7's for the matcha, but the drink itself is really. This is a great way to get your protein in if you don't like protein shakes. Like genuinely.
Well, I honestly didn't think it was gonna go together that well for whatever reason. But like the thing that I like about it is like the banana, whatever they use the banana, I think it makes sense that they were saying, expired, because the banana in here, it tastes very fresh. It tastes very like real. It doesn't taste like they just squirted a few pumps of banana. They may have, I don't know, and they just have a good syrup, but like it blends together really well and nothing is overpowering it. So like Starbucks really, really solid job on this one. This is great.
Yeah, this is actually really good. I've realized
Now-
that I've drank more than half of it while you were talking. So I was like, honestly, this really is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, factoring the cons, right? Like, I'm sure the foam, and I think, like, probably their matcha syrup or whatever, I'm sure you're getting a good amount of sugar and some fats in there. So, like, should this be your go-to protein drink? Probably not. But if you're in a pinch and you're going to Starbucks, I'm sure it would taste great. Now, I do want to do the coffee one at some point because I do drink coffee more frequently, and I'm curious to see, like, if the protein
How it
messes
blends with the coffee.
Yeah, if it messes that at all. But, like, truly, I don't taste any sort of, like, chalkiness or any
At
like
all.
super bad aftertaste. Like,
Even
if
when it's
you-
just the cold foam, it's not chalky at all.
yeah, like if you gave me this and didn't tell me there was protein in it, I would think it's a regular drink. And usually that is not the case with protein.
Yeah, I agree. So good job, Starbucks, and thank you.
All right, well, yeah, good job, and thank you. Yeah, if you want to sponsor Gabe for being so rude and making them open up a whole batch right before they close, let us know.
Yeah, I'd really appreciate. I just want to say thank you to the employees. I said it to them, but I want to say it again.
Do you know their names?
No.
No, that's cool. That was actually really kind of them. Yeah, so that's cool. I mean, I get it. Like they're trying to preserve it, and they probably also didn't want to have to do extra cleanup. But it is always nice when customer service goes above and beyond. So definitely
I was about to be like,
appreciate
look,
that.
realistically, it's probably not expired. I'll take the ones that you're about to throw out. I was like, they
Gabe
probably
said
already
you
threw
could
it
just
out.
give me the cold foam. I'll take
Yeah,
it.
it's all good. I'll take the batch.
Okay, cool. So that is our review for tonight. If you enjoyed it, let us know if you guys have any products, anything you see coming out in this holiday season. Let us know. We're always down. We love reviewing things and trying things on the podcast, and it's obviously a big part of it. So let us know if you see anything or if there's anything you want us to do, because we are more than willing to take some suggestions in. So, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
right.
so you want to go ahead and set up the next one?
Well,
do you want me to?
usually, no, actually, can you set it up? Because usually I have sleeves, and I'm a heat guy, but I'm kind of chilly right now, so I got to go turn off the fan.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cold over here too in Cali right now. We just hit a little gloomy streak, so it's a little cold. But anyways, okay, so tonight we're going to be getting into a topic that I think can help a lot of people and give some different perspectives into dealing with hard situations. So the prompt is basically just going to be, how do you respond when life doesn't make sense or things don't go as planned? And we're going to be giving a couple of different examples. Mine, I think a good approach for me is giving a comparison, which was before I was a Christian to now being a Christian, how I respond to certain situations, and how that's changed with my faith now coming into play. And then Gabe will obviously have his take as well. So yeah, do you want me to go first? Do you want to go first?
What the heck? Yeah, you can go first, because I feel like whenever you have to do like the pre and post, it just takes up a little more time. So I want you to have like the time to actually talk about
He's like, I want you to have your time, get it out the way, and then don't talk the rest of the podcast.
Essentially.
All right, you don't have to sugarcoat it. If you got something to say,
But how you gonna
say
do?
it.
Are you gonna say like, car accidents before, after, or are you gonna be like this situation? Like, how are you gonna do?
No, I don't think I'm gonna. I don't really have any specific situations lined up. I mean, if one comes up, but mine's more so just basically kind of
habits that you've noticed that you've changed.
Yeah, more so that approach. Yeah.
I bet we'll continue.
So basically, so before I was a Christian, which was up until my mid-20s, I think obviously we deal with hard situations, and, when things don't go as planned in life, I think it is different just depending on like the age group you're in regardless. Like when you're a teenager, it's different from ages 15 to 18 to 18 to 21 to 21 to 24. It kind of goes, you mature a little bit, you grow a little bit. But I think the one thing that remained consistent when I didn't have any sort of faith behind my thought process and the way I viewed life. I think a big thing is I resorted to anger a lot more, and I let that consume me a lot, and which is a pretty like interesting thing, because I feel like I'm a naturally very optimistic person. I'm a naturally very positive person. I always try to like look at the bright side of the things and find the silver lining. But you know, especially before I had my faith, I would let these things, you know, for example, like if I didn't get a role, you know, in acting that I really wanted, or like if I was, you know, really hoping that this relationship would work out and it didn't work out, like I would get so consumed in my mind, and I would let that anger, but not just like straight, oh, I'm so mad, like it would just be the bitterness of the situation. Like if I felt like I was done wrong, then I would just feel like, oh, I need to get revenge, or I need to show people how well I'm doing now. Like if a girl broke up with me or stood me up, I'd be like, man, I need to post online and show her like I'm at the gym, I'm out with my friends. Like I just felt this need to show that like, hey, I'm doing okay, I'm all right, when I really wasn't on the inside, right? But I just felt this need of like pride and ego, and like I had to be the one on top. And that was kind of a lot of how I approached the situations whenever life would throw me a curveball or something. It was just kind of like trying to inflate my ego, trying to inflate my pride, trying to make sure that, you know, nobody knew that I was down. And I think that stemmed a lot from me relying on myself, right? Like I didn't have any sort of like thoughts on what really mattered, I guess, is where I'm trying to get at. And when I became a Christian, and it's still a journey, it's still a process, like I'm not saying I'm perfect at this at all, but I think the biggest thing that I've noticed in the way I handle situations is, number one, I resort straight to prayer. Like that is exactly where, and now whereas before it would all be in my head, or like I would talk it out with some friends, but for the most part, it would be in my head first. Now it's like, well, I go and I lay it at the feet of Jesus, man. I go and I pray and I talk to God about it. And yeah, of course, sometimes after I still kind of worry about it, which, like, you know, if you're laying it at the feet of God, you shouldn't. But I think that has helped me so much, because it's, one, allowed me this outlet, but also two, it's just the perspective and the life viewpoint that you take on when you become a Christian. You know, as it says in Philippians 4:6-7, don't be anxious about everything. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. Meaning, like, I would get so upset and anxious, and I would let my mind go on a roll down rabbit holes and just, well, why did they do this? Or they did this because of this, or I didn't get this role because of this, and just spiral out of control. Whereas now, if that's happening, I'm like, dude, you need to go to prayer. You need to talk to God. You need to lay it at his feet and let it go. Because one, that worry is not doing anything. That anger is not doing anything. Me trying to post and make it look okay and make it look like I'm doing things is not doing anything. Like, oh, okay, good. You fooled someone into thinking that you're okay. What does that do for you? Nothing. It probably even just hurts you more, right? And so for me, I also understand now that I think that I just trust so much in what God has for my life that when things don't go my way, I'm never... things can be upsetting, and like obviously hard things and bad things, you know, can still happen. But I understand that like what God has for my life and what his will is for my life will be done, right? Whether I like it or not. And so it's like just trusting in that and knowing that, you know, as a believer, not saying that my life is going to be all sunshine and rainbows now. No, I understand as a Christian that I'm picking up my cross every day and that things are going to be hard. Like, I fully understand that. And now it's like, well, you're, you know, now that when you are a Christian, you you don't have sin to cope with, right? You're trying to flee and run from sin. So like, again, back in the day, if something bad happened, or, you know, I did something, like I could just go out and drink my problems away. I could go out and party my problems away. It's like, now I'm not trying to do that, because that's not what I'm called to do. Do I slip up? Do I make mistakes? Yeah, of course. And do I sometimes like still have, or, you know, times when I do that? Of course, I'm not perfect. But the amount that I used to do that versus now, it's like, no, I turn to prayer and I talk to my creator. Like, it's just changed the way I deal with grief, the way I deal with problems, the way I deal with hard situations, the way I deal with, how do I want to approach a conversation that might be hard for me? I pray about it, and I just let that guidance and that pull guide me and lead me. And so those have been the two differences, and I really think the biggest takeaway is just that I leaned on myself versus now I lean on God's understanding. And again, that's something that I still struggle with, and I think every Christian struggles with. Like, it's not something we're ever going to be perfect at. But once you take on that viewpoint, you just start to understand that, like, you're not always going to have all the answers. So like, you're better off just not trying to like find out by like running down a million rabbit holes, but like just lay it at God's feet and let him handle it. Trust in him, trust in his power, trust in his will. Because something you may think you want that didn't happen could be a huge blessing for you a year down the line, a month down the line, whatever it is. But there are some times where we think we want things, and then, you know, down the line we realize, oh, like if that happened, this wouldn't have happened, and this was much better than this would have been. So yeah, again, if I didn't have any faith, I wouldn't see things like that. I wouldn't look back and look at it as that. And so that's just been the biggest, I think, shift for me. And I think the biggest like help in my life has been like that change of being able to view situations through the lens, through biblically, you know.
Well, nice. That was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. So good job. I said that was a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be. So good job. No, bro, I think that's great. I mean, I think how you deal or used to deal with things is like how most people just resort to deal with things. So I feel like it's like one of those like common things that like everyone can kind of relate to.
Of course,
and myself included. You know, because like obviously. When this topic came up, it was a little different for me because I knew we had talked about taking the approach. You were going to take the approach of like, you know, before and after. And then I'm like, well, I grew up as a Christian. So obviously it's like, do I fall? Do I make mistakes? Do I always lean on, do I fall? Do I always make mistakes? Yes. Do I always lean on God? No. Because I almost grouped them all together. Sure. And I'm like, wait, they're different. They're different answers. So, and it's like going through phases and things like that. So I was just like really like trying to think about it. And the way I'm basically doing is like one thing I realized for me is that I am growing up. Growing my whole life. Anytime that it was like, basically it's like, you know how there's that saying where you can't only need God in the bad times, and then like forget about him during the good times.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So it's like, for me, it would be almost the opposite, and then like dealing with issues would almost be the opposite. Where it's like, I feel like for most people, it's like, okay, for example, I am a server, right? If I'm trying to go get an interview for a serving job, right, or a bartending job, or whatever, right, whatever job I'm interviewing for, if I don't get it, I'd always pray beforehand. I'd always give it to God, and if I didn't get it, would I be upset? Would I be discouraged? All these feelings, absolutely, I'm human, right? But I always felt a sense of peace of like if it didn't happen, it's because it wasn't meant to be, because it's not in God's will. So I'm okay with it. It sucks, but I'm okay with it. So I was always good at doing that with big things, but with small things, I was always really bad at turning to God because I would lean on myself. So it's like instead of, you know, being with God in the good time or bad times and forgetting him in the good times, it's like I'm the opposite. During the good times, I was like, oh, thank God, blah, blah, blah. But during the bad times, I would kind of be like, oh, this is what I deserve. So then it's like in the chance of like work, because, you know, what we do most of the time is work. Where do we spend most of our time? Work. What affects our mentality or stress level a lot of the times is work. And for a couple of years that I was just talking to my friend about this, is like serving was so negative because I would let like the little interferences with customers affect me affect my whole day. Like if someone like didn't tip me or shorted me or was like so like it would ruin my shift to the point where it's like I had to train myself to not look because it would like ruin my day. And it's like now I'm starting to come to that place where it's like giving it to God of like, you know what? It only takes one. Like remembering that whole thing where it's like it only takes one. And like, do you know what I mean by it only takes one?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like it only takes one table to tip me $1,000 and I made my week's
Same thing
money.
with acting.
You know what I'm saying? Same thing with acting, right? So it's like, but I just find it funny where it's like for me, I was so trained to be like anything big, anything intense, like give it to God, and like truly, like learning how to truly give it to God over the course of my life was interesting too. Of like, because like I feel like now I know what like truly giving it to God. Before it was like I'm praying and I really hope it works. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm
Sure,
like I'm giving it
yeah.
to you, right? But now
Right.
it's a different feeling because you feel the weight off your shoulders. But when it comes to the little things, I still go and like and be like, "Yo, I got this. Like this is on me," and things like that. And I think that's like where I struggle with is like the little moments, the little spots, the little inconveniences, and that's where I turn to anger. And so it's like learning how to resort to praying, resort to talking to God, resort to giving it to Him in those small moments. And like today, I felt like I did a really good job at it because certain people acted this way, and other people did this, and other people just said that. And today, I felt like I did a really good job about like looking at God and staying positive, and it all ended up working out to the point that I was like, bro, I came home like I've been in a great mood all day, and I haven't been like that in a while. So it's like it's cool. Like trying to make that a habit, and I think a lot of people don't forget about faith. Is that like faith is like anything else, where it's a relationship, you got to work towards it. But what does that mean? It's a habit. It has to be a habit. And for me, dealing with things that back to like, because I kind of took like a really weird route, so I apologize for all that. But to wrap it all, the way that I've learned to deal with things, or like what I do when it's inconvenient, is also give it to God. But it's also like not just in the big moments. It's like I feel like it really, really matters in the small inconvenient moments throughout the day too, because that will help you one realize that God really is in control about everything. But then you're spending more time with Him, and then that overall like transcends to a bunch of other things. So, yeah, I kind of was rambling a little bit, so I apologize.
No, I mean that makes sense, and I love the part about the small things we forget because, again, right, like in the big things, right, like let's say there's a health scare or a health crisis or a car accident or something like bad that's happening, right?
Right.
Yeah, we're all like, yes, turn to God, turn to God. Or like if there's a good thing, oh, I just booked a huge role. Oh, I got this music gig, or I got this amazing job I've wanted. Thank you, God. Like you're so amazing, right? But it really is in those smaller things where you continue to build that relationship, build that trust, build that connection. Because even for me, bro, like a lot of the times, like, you know, if there's a conversation I need to have with somebody that I'm stressing out about, I'm trying to think it out in my head. How's the conversation going to go? What if they say this? What if they say this? Or if I'm at work and like you said, a customer like gets on my nerves or aggravates me. I'm over here thinking about this and thinking about this. And a lot of the times I catch myself now and I'm like, dude, okay, stop overthinking whatever you're doing and just pray. Just pray for them. Pray for yourself. Pray for patience. Pray for peace. Pray for love, understanding. And like that has helped me so much. Especially in times of like work crises where like, again, like, I don't know, maybe like a coworker does something to make you mad or a customer does something to make you mad. Like the amount of times that's happened, or like it's just really busy and you're scattered and like I go and I just take like literally 20 seconds and I just pray for peace. And like, dude, I tell you, I'm like, you know, people probably think you sound crazy, but it really does, like it works. And whether that's just like something that, you know, it's because God is seeing you implement that and He's granting you that. And again, I'm not saying it's like a genie in a bottle. Oh, it always happens. Hey, maybe something needs to happen for you to learn a lesson here. But yeah, a lot of the times if you can just take that time and reflect and be like, okay, instead of me trying to be the one who figures it all out, how about you just pray and allow Him to handle it, right? Like, because again, are you trusting in His power to handle situations, or are you trusting in your power to handle situations? And if you trust in Him, He's going to give you the tools that you need to navigate through this situation, right? It's not like he's just going to be like, boom, situation solved. He's going to give you those tools. He's going to give you those avenues. Right. I mean, yeah, absolutely sometimes. But for the most part, it's going to be a more like something of just how it plays out through you. So yeah, I think that's a really great point. And, something that everybody can pick up and walk through. And I think like, if even if you're not a Christian and you're watching this, like, I think just taking time to just stop and like, just reflect. And like, again, if it's something that like you're dealing with an overthinking issue, you're dealing with a problem where like every time something bad happens, you spiral or anger takes over or this takes over. Like, I think you have to find something bigger. And whether that's faith, whether that's, I don't know, a life perspective, it's just whenever you're living life like just for yourself, it is really hard to get out of those ways. Yes, there's meditation and there's, therapy to help you deal with certain things certain ways. So yeah, those are all always options. But I think like it really does take something a little bit more, because for me, it's just like I know who I'm giving it to. Like I trust in that. There's zero doubt there, right? So like for me, it's like I can cast my anxieties on him, and we're told to do so. But for others, I feel like it's just, well, I don't really have anywhere to place them. They're just gonna. So yeah, there are different tools and methods you can use to deal with that, and you can obviously continue to grow in how you let things affect you. But I think it is really just searching for something bigger, because that's going to help you work through all things. So.
Okay, well, I take what I said back, because now you doubled the time. But yeah.
You said I take back what I said.
You said a lot, so I was going to say a couple things, but I kind of forgot.
Go ahead. I mean, what are we at?
30. No, I was gonna say
time.
things to what you were saying, but then you kept going, so then I forgot what I was gonna say. So I was like, I had it, but I lost it.
You gotta bookmark them.
I know. I gotta have like a notepad during the podcast.
Well, it's funny because sometimes like the same thing will happen with you. Like whenever you're talking, I'll have thoughts. I'm like, I don't want to interrupt him, but like I'll try to like keep a track on it, and then like one will always stand out. Like I'll probably have like 3 or 4, and one will like remain, and I'm like, okay, obviously that's the important one, But anyways, if one didn't stand out to you, I guess it's just not that important.
No, I just forgot. Like, yeah, maybe.
I'm just kidding.
But
no, I hate that. That's actually the worst feeling when you can't. You're like,
because like it's on the tip of my tongue. Like I got like the first 3 words, but I don't know. I know how to start the thought. I don't know where it ends.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It was like the habits of like getting into like giving it to God, but like I don't remember where I was gonna go with it. So, oh well.
All right, cool.
So yeah, that's how we deal with things, and insight on what we think about it and ways that you could maybe potentially deal with things, like a different outlook. If you have good coping mechanisms or other good ways that you deal with things, or different, or whatever your thoughts are on it, just let us know. DM us if you want a private comment, if you want a public, whichever one. We'll see it. We see all of it. We see all of it. We see everything. But just to wrap up the episode, Tyler brought it up so he can go down the rabbit hole of it. But recently, and really recently, because it was like 2 hours before this podcast was recorded, Jelly Roll and Forrest Frank, which are 2 very known artists, were having some, I guess, like controversy. I don't think it's really like.
Well, I think
it's this or that, but you go ahead, explain the situation.
Well, I was just going to say, I think Jelly Roll's comment maybe like amplified it, but I think like it was already kind of like there were some thoughts and opinions on it, like even before his comment.
True.
But basically, just to give the overview for those of you that are living under a rock and don't know, not kidding. So Forrest Frank, he's a very popular Christian music artist. And recently he came out saying that he had a conviction that he no longer wanted to attend award shows, even that being the Christian award shows, because he feels like he doesn't want to receive something that is for Jesus. And like he doesn't want to feel glorified when he's like, well, the glory should be to him. He's gave me this voice. He's gave me these talents and these abilities. He's gave me this platform. Like, I don't feel like I should be accepting something and being recognized for that. And then basically Jelly Roll, big country music artist, also, you know, a man walking in his faith as well, basically commented and said something along the lines of, you won't accept a trophy, but you'll accept the money. I'm not like quoting him verbatim, but that was basically the gist. Is like, you're not going to accept a trophy for Christ, but you'll accept the money that you're getting from this music. And Forrest Frank responded and basically just said, like, this is a great point. He's like, we talked about it over the phone, which I really respect about Forrest. He actually, it seems like he tries to have conversations with people, even like with the guy who made the parody video of him. Yeah, like he tries to have a conversation with them rather than just like, oh, we're gonna have this internet back and forth. And that's why I know a lot of the times he's not doing these things for clout.
True.
And anyway, so he just basically said, like, that's a great thing, and that's something that I struggle with. And I think he said, like, you know, he said something about like his deals in the past. Like, I remember on one song he says he's turned down $1 million. Like, I've listened to his songs before, and he's said some things where he's turned down very big money opportunities for certain reasons. So the people jumping on him for that, I'm like, you should probably do a little bit more research first. But basically he said, I'm not going to tell you guys. I could be donating 90% of my money. I could be donating 10%. It could be somewhere in the middle. I don't owe that to you guys to say what that is, which I agree with him on. It's not really anybody's business, to be honest with you, what his money is donating. But anyways, the main thing we're going to basically tackle is like the conviction and like our thoughts and opinions on it. And I mean, I went first. Do you want to go first?
Sure. Okay,
Cool.
So I have a bunch of thoughts on it just from different points of views. So first, at the end of the day, if you feel convicted, then you feel convicted, and that's the right thing to do, is listen to your conviction. Point, case, period, no ifs, ands, or buts. If you truly feel convicted and you think God is like telling you to do something or not do it, listen to it. So I have no judgment on Forrest for that, you know. Do I feel the same way about going to award shows and accepting an award? No, but I'll get to that in a second. Then the second thing with what Jelly Roll said is, I think that was like a really bad, like, I guess, comeback or like snarky comment. Because it's like, one's an award versus the other one is his income and how he provides for his family. In a way, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like if
Absolutely.
he was like, well, you sell merch with your face on it and like you're selling pictures of yourself, I feel like would have been more of an art. Like, I feel like that would have lined up a little more. Like, that is, like, you know what I mean? Like, not saying like it's the same, but I feel like I read that comment and I was like, what? Personally, I was just like, that's not the same. Like, self-image, sure. Selling merch with your face on it, sure. I can see someone's attack on that. But, you know, I thought that was kind of dumb. So it's like, when I saw Forrest's response, it's like, you know, Forrest, at least from the social media side of it, which, like Tyler said it, hold on. Like Tyler said, it doesn't seem like any of it's fake or anything. He seems like a very genuine dude, and like that's how he presents himself online. And I respect that he called him and that he has like, he's always had very like mature, well thought out, but also very calm responses. So I respect that a lot about Frank. So that's what I'd say about those three posts. Do I think he like so what do you necessarily, what's the actual question? Do I like, what's my thought on going to award shows? What's my thought on what he's doing? Like, which one or both?
I guess what's your thought on him sharing that conviction?
I think maybe it's like old school of me. I feel like he could have just posted a post and written that out. But I also get that the new day and age is posting videos of you talking and actually talking to a camera. That's a lot of times how celebrities like do apologies and stuff like that. They don't type it out anymore. So I get like he's like keeping up with the times. But I mean, he wasn't pressing anyone about it. He wasn't trying to convince anyone to do the same thing he was. He wasn't condemning people that do go. He, so it's like, I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, you want to go, you don't want to go. I mean, Brandon, I don't know if Brandon Lake made a post on why he did, but I know he's talked about like why he went to an award show with Maverick City back in the day a couple years ago. And it's like no one was mad on him being like, we wanted to go to the award show that we were nominated for. So it's like, why are people knocking on Forrest Frank for not wanting to go? Do I think he should go? I think he should go. I think it'd be good. But at the end of the day, it's like, why is he feeling convicted? Is it going to be not good for his pride? You know what I mean? Maybe, like, that's a good reason not to go. Like you're like worship, like making worship is a completely different place than just making music and me personally, the way I believe is like good music comes from like a place of vulnerability, and when it comes to worship, it's like a different type of vulnerability, because you also have to surrender yourself, and it's not about you. So it's like, I understand where it's like maybe that'll fill his pride, and it's like maybe it'll get in his head. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be honest with yourself. How is this going to affect me? Is the fame, like a bunch of people that didn't know his face before now do know his face. Whether they listen to his music or not, they recognize him. Does he want that? Is that going to be good for him? I don't know. Right. You know what I mean? So it's like there's pros and cons to everything, and it's like being honest of like, how is this situation going to affect me, and is that good or bad? And the fact that he took that and was able to look at himself and be like, I don't think this is good for me. I feel convicted about this. I don't remember if he said exactly like how it affects him, but I know he just felt like, the thing with he's like, I don't want to get an award that's not for Jesus when I'm making something for Jesus from Jesus. So like, I get that part. I have my own opinions, but it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's just like, why are people blowing it up? Like, yeah,
and I think that's the biggest thing, dude, is like the whole like blowing. It's like it's this big thing of like that I've seen with the big overtaking of like social media and like Christian influence that's been happening is like, dude, there's so much grace lost in the middle. And there's so many, everybody has an opinion about everything. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't, basically, right? It's like Brandon Lake or Lecrae. Like, they go into a song with a secular artist, and they're not like giving into their music. They're still preaching about God in their song. Oh, you're this now, you sold out, you're not a real Christian. Like, it's just so much judgment. It's like, y'all really have to chill, because you're gonna give people, you're giving people the wrong impression of what it means, because you're projecting your own insecurities and probably feelings about your own sin onto other people, and it makes you feel better about that. So like, I think as Christians, like, we just really have to do a better job about just like coming at people for whatever reason. And that's something I want to talk about in another episode anyways, but right. I'm just getting to this real quick. I think number one, what Forrest did was the correct thing to do. And in my opinion, from what a lot of I've been seeing, because I do follow a lot of Christian influencers, so I've seen a lot of talk and discussion behind this, and a lot of people seem to think their main issue with it is they're like, oh, it's like false humility. It's him just basically trying to, oh, I'm doing this, so I'm better than everybody, because when people claim their convictions, they think, oh, well, I'm not doing this, so they're kind of up on their high horse, right? I didn't get that feeling or intention at all. I genuinely think that's people just putting something there that's not there. My biggest thing is like, one, he did this before the Dove Show Awards. Obviously, his stuff, and people are also saying, oh, well, you have to submit your work. Yeah. When you have a conviction, it's pretty immediate. It's not like, hey man, I've been thinking about this for 2 years, and I think, no, when I had a conviction to stop cursing, it was that day, and I was like, okay. And like 2 days earlier, you would have caught me running around saying every other word out of the book, and so like, it's a very immediate thing. He knows this award show's coming up that he's nominated for, that I think he actually won a few albums. Not albums, I think he won a few awards. Do you think people are not going to question why he's not there to accept awards? Yeah, they are. And do you think it's worse if people are just like, because again, if he doesn't show up and accept, oh, wow, why didn't Forrest show up? Is it because of this? Is it because of this? Is it because of this?
He doesn't even care.
You're going to have all this speculation. You're going to have all this conspiracy. So just nip it in the butt. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I feel. So I'm not going to show up to it. And then another thing. Oh, well, the Dove is a Christian award show. Like, again, if it's his conviction to not go to award shows, that means all of them. That's not tailored to just the Grammys or this or that. Like, he said all of them. So like that's it. That cuts it off right there. And he's sticking to that conviction. Now, number one, he's a young man in his walk, just like every young man, young woman. Like he's young in his walk, but we're all on this walk. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're all gonna have thoughts and feelings, and maybe something that feels like a conviction, but later on we realize it maybe wasn't. Like, we're all gonna have these things with our walk, and we have to continue to pray about them and pray for discernment over them to know if they're real and to know if it's serving us, right? So for me, it's like, yeah, he had this big thing. He's a public he's a public figure, you know. He's obviously has a lot of fans and a lot of people that would question if he's not there. So personally, I don't think he was wrong in coming out on social media and saying this conviction. I think that he was just trying to let people know his thoughts on this. Again, nowhere in the video was he like, yeah, and all you other Christian artists, you shouldn't be doing this either because it's not the right thing to do. He literally said, it's for me. This is what I'm doing. So everybody preaching the false humility and this and that, I personally, that's not how I see it. Number two, I think that I do want to say on the other side, I do think it is okay to accept recognition. I think it is the perfect opportunity to give the glory to God. And he did that last year at I think it was at the Dove Award show when he won. He had a very nice, lovely speech, and so did all the people that won this year. So I think, like, number one, it even says in Matthew 5, let your light shine before others so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven, right? So by people seeing, and especially like with art, because art is such a compelling thing, it's such an emotional and vulnerable thing that people really relate to it. Whether that be acting, painting, dancing, singing, like people really relate to it and they look up to it. And I do think it has a big influence on people. So when you go up there, like for me, if I go up and I receive an Oscar or I receive an Emmy or whatever, if I'm up there and I'm, hey man, this is all because of God. I'm here because of God. I have my talents and my skills and I'm breathing because of God. That's giving all the glory to him. That trophy doesn't mean anything to me. Like literally, I'm going up there to accept this award because it was given to me, and that's okay. You did good work. God gave you the talents and the skills and the gifts to do this work. Let an academy recognize you. But when you go up there, if you go up there and you're like, yeah, you know, I worked so hard and I did this on my own and this and that, like, okay, where's the line at there, right? But if you go up there and you give glory and you give thanks, then look at how many people are now seeing what you believe and where you've come and the type of person you are and the values and the character you have. So it is okay to accept recognition. So, and I think Forrest was, again, just saying that's a personal thing that I'm feeling. Maybe the trophies were an idol for him. We don't know. Like, I do think he could have, because he is such a public figure and like this has become such a big thing. Again, maybe he could have been more descriptive on why, but maybe he doesn't know yet. When I got the conviction to stop cursing, I didn't know why. I didn't have any reason or rhyme, or I literally had no idea why. I was like, this is just what I'm feeling right now, so I'm gonna go in on it. I'm gonna trust God. I'm gonna trust what I felt. It was in a moment of prayer. I'm gonna trust that rather than just a random thought. And I trusted it. I didn't know why. So maybe he doesn't know why right now. But he's figuring that out. But again, he's in the public spotlight. So everybody wants to know. And everybody's this and that and this and that. It's like, relax. Give the dude some grace, you know? And, you know, I think just as an ending note, it's like, for the people that are like actually getting upset about this and getting angry at Forrest for sharing this, you really have to take some time to reflect on yourself and your own walk and see how many times you've fallen short and see how many times you've made mistakes, because it's on a daily basis. It is for me. It is for him. It is for everybody. And we're not in the public eye, right? Like our every move is not being judged and scrutinized every single day. So like we can't share that same pressure that these artists feel, especially ones in the Christian space, because I feel like they are held to such a high standard when it's like, no, we have to give more grace to these people. They're out here in a world that really doesn't like Christians, that really doesn't like the truth, right? So we need to be uplifting these people. Yes, if somebody's claiming heresy or like if they're doing something wrong, yes, we can righteously be like, hey man, I think this was a little bit, you need to look into this. You need to read about this. You need to pray about this because this seems a little odd. It doesn't seem true to the scriptures, right? But if somebody's coming out and you just have a disagreement with what they're saying, you can have that disagreement and then you should go and pray for that person. You shouldn't go to their comment section or go make a video badgering them and being like, this is that, and this is that. Like, again, we all fall to pride and ego. We all fall to pride and ego every single day. And so my thing is just like, reflect upon yourself. Again, I don't know if Forrest is doing this to get clout. I don't know if he's doing this out of false humility and to feel better than everybody else. That's not how I see the situation. That's not the character that I've seen from this man being in the public eye as long as he's been. That's not what I've seen from the interviews I've watched of him, because I guarantee you 99% of the people that are saying all these things haven't even like watched the dude sit down and talk to somebody for 10 minutes. They probably only listen to his music, or they don't even listen to his music. So again, it's something where like, if somebody has a conviction and they feel the need to share that, again, it's not something that's saying, hey, this is bad. This is biblically, you can't do this, right? But like, and if you're reading your Bible, you'll be able to discern that, right? Like if Forrest came out and said, hey man, I've been lying a lot. I had a conviction to stop lying. Like, yeah, obviously like that's one of the 10 commandments. Like obviously we know that. But for these other things that where it's like almost a gray area in a way, and again, I think a lot of people have problems with like accepting recognition because like, it's not me, it's God. Like I get that, but I think it is okay to do that. But I think it is okay to not want to do that if that's not what you're personally feeling right now. And again, he's going to grow. He's going to, his mind's going to change. God's going to lead him on so many other paths. So like, just have more grace, have more like, love and appreciation for people. And again, like that's not to if he's out there living wicked, like, yeah, obviously don't condone that. But if he's just making a mistake or he's sharing this conviction or he's feeling this way, like just have a conversation. Just like make sure that it's not something where, again, Jelly Roll, I don't mind his comment, but I'm like, you could have approached it in a different way. You could have been like, hey man, I disagree with you. Call me. Let's have a conversation, rather than publicly being like, oh, I'm going to call him out and be like, oh, but you'll take the money. And so I'm like, dude, do you know him? Do you know what he does with his money? Again, like Forrest said, I could be donating 90% of my profit, And so it's just like everybody seems to have a comment without knowing the full situations. And I'm like, we really have to refrain from doing that a lot of the times and just be a little bit more, again, slow to speak, as we are called to do, biblically. So those are my thoughts on it. Yeah, let us know your thoughts below if you are interested in this situation.
Yeah. I think with what you said, though, I think it is definitely situational, because there are definitely situations where people talk about their convictions and they're also condemning it.
Of
so
course.
It's like,
yeah, absolutely.
Because it's just the way you said it, I was like, well, this only really applies to this situation, because I know people that aren't even convicted by God. They just live a different lifestyle and condemn you for living that lifestyle. Or like people that used to drink and don't drink just because they're healthier now. That, be talking like that.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing. It's like people, again, just a quick note, if you have a conviction, a personal conviction, right? Like, it's okay to share that with people. It's like, again, like let's say you go out to a party and you're like, hey man, like I don't drink anymore. I feel convicted of that. Like if somebody's trying to offer you whatever, like that's okay. But if you think that your conviction makes you better than somebody else because you don't do something that they're not doing, that's where it becomes an issue. Right? Like my thing is like, yeah, we're going to learn, we're going to grow through our convictions, and you'll obviously be able to see the fruit from that. And yeah, if somebody is curious about it, hey man, since you've stopped cursing, like what are the changes you've noticed? Hey man, since you stopped drinking because of that conviction, what have you noticed? Hey Forrest, since you stopped going to award shows, what have you learned from that? Then you can share your experience, right? Then you can go into it. But it shouldn't be something like, again, let's just using the party, the thing, for example, you go out and your friend offers you a drink. No, man, I don't drink anymore. I was convicted of it. And honestly, like, my life is just so much better. So you guys should actually do the same. Like, yeah, you're on your high horse. You need to be knocked down a bit. So yeah, it's definitely a personal thing. And it's something where people can, again, yeah, blow it out of the water and just use it to inflate their ego and think they're better. That's not truth. That's not the way you should go about it. And so, yeah, I totally agree with that point.
Yeah. But yeah, that whole thing, I guess we'll see how it rolls out, because by the time this episode comes out, it'll be a week from Forrest Frank's response. So let us know if there's anything else happening.
Maybe
I think it'll die here.
Us.
Yeah, I think it'll die here, but
yeah, I think it's pretty. I think it's.
I don't think it was like
it's pretty chill.
like, and that's the thing. I saw a poster that was saying, like, it was never like Forrest Frank against the award shows. It was never Forrest Frank against Jelly Roll. It wasn't Jelly Roll against. It wasn't anyone against anyone. That was just like the demon of divinity, where it was like there wasn't any real issues. It was some dude that made a comment, maybe not the most non-aggressive way. It seemed a little passive aggressive, but it's like. But that was it. It was just a comment someone made, and it was figured out. Like, that's literally it. It wasn't pick a side and do this. So it's like people be blowing it out of the water, and no one knows either of them personally. So shut up. The end. Have a great night. Hope you enjoyed the episode. I am Matt. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just true. It's like yeah. There's no need to comment. There's no need to, like this day and age is like. Everyone knows everything about everyone, and that's not how the world used to be, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So it's like we get too sidetracked with things that like doesn't actually affect us, and we don't affect them in any way other than like negative half the time, because that's just the culture, unfortunately. But anyways, that's a whole different episode that we're gonna have later this season.
All right, well, that will wrap up this episode. This episode 2 of season 4. Yeah, it was a good one. It was a fun one. Hopefully, you enjoyed your time that you spent with us. If you made it all the way through, go ahead and drop a comment. Let us know that you're an OG fan and you stay the whole way through and listen, because we appreciate that.
We're 4 seasons in. Nah, just say that you were a real fan for listening.
So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Go try this. This thing is phenomenal. Please do yourself a favor and try this.
I'm out.
Dang, he drank all of his. I had the smaller one too. He really likes it, and I rated it higher. But thanks for tuning in. Once again, my name's Tyler.
My name is Gabriel.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.
The podcast, if you're not caught up, you're catching up.
I don't necessarily know what that means.